Dave Mustaine and his band Megadeth seemed to have a pretty good relationship with MTV. They gave the band a lot of exposure back in the 80s and the early 90s, and Mustaine even acted as a correspondent for the network during their coverage of the 1992 presidential election, covering the Democratic Convention. The corresponding gig happened to coincide with Megadeth's new album at the time, Countdown to Extinction, which proved to be the most commercially successful record of the band's career, as they adopted a more mainstream sound. Even the bass line for the band's 1986 song Peace Sells acted as MTV's This Week in Rock theme song for a number of years. In 1994, Megadeth would return with their sixth studio album, and while the network teamed up with the band to celebrate the record's release, they also rejected the video for one of the album's singles and one of the group's most popular songs. It would turn out that MTV had misinterpreted the song's lyrics, but it wasn't entirely their fault. That's what we're going to explore in today's video. In 1994, Megadeth would release Euthanasia, their sixth studio album, and MTV would celebrate the release of the record, which came out on November 1st, 1994, by broadcasting a Halloween concert called Night of the Living Megadeth. A track off the new album named A Tout Le Monde was released as the second single off the record and was played live at this concert. The song was different because the chorus is sung in French, with Mustaine revealing to Canadian channel Much Music that one of his former girlfriends was French-Canadian, his father was French-Irish, and he was a fan of the Beatles song Michelle. They would serve as the inspiration for the chorus of the song. The chorus, which translates to English as "To the whole world, to all my friends, I love you, I have to go." This line led some to claim that the song was encouraging suicide. You can't really blame people for thinking that because it was during the Halloween concert Mustaine introduced the song off their new record, saying, and I quote, "In February of 1993, I decided I would try to kill myself with Valiums, and I came real close to doing it. This is a song about that time period in my life when things were really effed up." Because of Mustaine's explanation of the song and its lyrics, MTV banned the video. It seemed hypocritical given that Pearl Jam's video for Jeremy got heavy play on MTV. However, according to Songfacts, MTV eventually reneged on their ban and showed the video, albeit with a message urging those watching who were suffering from mental health issues to call a self-helpline. The song was once again in the news when in Canada a school shooting happened at a campus in Montreal, and the shooter mentioned the song in his final note. Mustaine would be forced to address the meaning of the song, putting out a statement that read, "Like everyone else, I'm horrified and disgusted by the tragic events of yesterday. We will pray for everyone who has been hurt and all the families that are suffering. A Tout Le Monde is based on a dream I had where my mother came back from heaven to say I love you. It's about me talking to her again," he would say. It was the same year that Mustaine elaborated on the song's meaning, as you can see here.
What it is, when people have a loved one that dies and they end on a bad note, they wish that they could say something to them. So this is an opportunity for the deceased to say something before they go. And it was my impression of what I would like to say to people. If I had 3 seconds to do a soundbite before I died, I would say to the entire world, to all my friends, I love you all. Now I must go. These are the last words I'll ever speak, and they'll set me free. I don't have to say I'm sorry. I don't have to say I'm going to miss you or I'll wait for you. Just say, you know what, I loved you all. Good, bad, indifferent, I loved you all.
Despite the song's controversial history, it would peak at number 31 on the mainstream US rock charts. And in 2017, it was announced that Mustaine would be teaming up with a beer company owned by Sapporo to release a beer bearing the name of the track. A Tout Le Monde wasn't the only Megadeth song that faced the wrath of MTV, as 7 years prior, when the band submitted their video for In My Darkest Hour, the network also said no to the video. The network took the same issue with the song. However, Mustaine would claim that the song was written about former Metallica bassist Cliff Burton. For those who aren't aware, Megadeth's sixth studio album was also notable for another reason. The band would be one of the first major acts to use the internet to promote the record, and that's what we're going to talk about next. Robin Sloan Bechtel, who worked with the marketing group at Megadeth's label Capitol Records, published a pretty detailed article about her time at the label. She detailed how she came up with an out-of-the-box idea to promote Megadeth's new album at the time, And Capitol Records initially wanted to promote the record using the tried and true formula that asked the simple questions. Who will shoot the album cover? How many radio stations will play the single? How many posters should we print for the record stores? But with the advent of the internet, Robin had an idea that this new technology could be instrumental in promoting the album and the label's other artists. But Megadeth wasn't the first band she used technology and computers to promote. Prior to working on the marketing plan for Megadeth's new album, she was tasked with working on the marketing for two other artists Capitol Records was putting out albums for. Those would be Frank Sinatra and Bonnie Raitt. It would be a co-worker of hers that introduced her to the Macromedia Director software, which was an authoring tool that could be used to make simple yet effective video games. She quickly created a video game for Frank Sinatra's new album that quickly won over the people at Capitol Records. It wasn't too long after this, she worked on the marketing plan for Beastie Boys' record Ill Communication, and she came up with the idea of releasing a screensaver of the band on various gaming and software forums and on floppy disk. The screensaver proved to be a huge hit, but during this time she also learned about something else known as the World Wide Web. It just so happened to coincide with her being assigned to work on the marketing team at Capitol Records for the new Megadeth album. As she sat in the meeting to discuss the promotion for the record, the same old tired questions were being asked that she'd previously heard. It wasn't long after that she wrote a proposal for what she envisioned would be a website to promote the album. In her mind, the website could serve as, and I quote, a virtual cybertown in cyberspace. The cybertown would be a fictional place named Megadeth, which was located in the state of Arizona, where the band lived and recorded their latest album at the time. Her boss, Lou Mann, who was the senior vice president of the label, ended up giving her $30,000 to pursue the idea. And she would admit on her Medium.com article, he had no idea what it was for, and I can guarantee you, neither did I. Funny enough, Robin would enlist two co-workers, a copywriter and a graphics artist, to provide the content for the website. She would reveal they did not know what the internet was either. And the inspiration for the website would be the Roadside America tourist guide and a postcard her coworker found from Arizona. The website would consist of the following features: news about the band, which was called Megabyte News, music and video clips from their upcoming album, and a digital postcard which you could send via email. It would prove to be one of the first instances on the internet where you could email video clips along with a customizable greeting card to other people. There was also a chat room where you could meet other Megadeth fans. The real mission of the website was to make it seem like a town or a vacation for fans to meet and mingle. The website would end up being a phenomenal success, bringing over 3 million visitors by 1995, and it even caught the attention of some other hugely successful and powerful people, including Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz. Schultz had requested a meeting with Capitol Records' marketing team to know how they utilize the internet to market their product. And following that meeting with Starbucks, Robin's salary was doubled, and Starbucks soon launched their own website. Once the album cycle was done for Megadeth, Capitol Records wanted to shut down the site, but there was such a devoted following, they would keep it up. So what did the members of Megadeth think about this whole thing? Well, the members of Megadeth, more specifically bassist David Ellefson and frontman Dave Mustaine, were both fans of computers to begin with, as they had already purchased them as early as 1990. Megadeth leader Dave Mustaine would look back at how important the site was, revealing in an interview, "I think the internet is great for certain reasons. If you remember back, we were the first band to have a website. We won just about every single award there was in the very beginning, so we're not against the internet at all." Meanwhile, bassist David Ellefson credited the website with boosting the band's popularity and would recall discussions with management back in 1994, saying, "Very clearly I remember having discussions with management, the band, and Capitol, who were sitting there. What is the internet? What do you do? What is the goal? Everybody was like, it's the wild, wild west, but I think we should go for it. As a band, we were very much into it," he'd say. The website also had some other unintended impacts, including piquing interest in computers and the internet. Robin would note in her article that she got countless messages from people thanking her for getting them interested in both computers and the World Wide Web. In addition to that, it would also prove to be social media in its infancy. Not only did the website give fans a chance to talk with each other, it also created long-lasting relationships. According to Robin, some fans met, dated, and got married, while another fan unfortunately got the clap. In addition to all the fan mingling, it also gave them a chance to chat with their favorite band. When he, referring to Dave Mustaine, first ventured into the site's chat room, none of the fans believed he was who he said he was. Once they realized it was him, they wouldn't leave him alone. And the website would prove to be so successful that Capitol Records soon created interactive sites for their other artists, including the Beatles and Duran Duran. So that does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like button and subscribe, and we'll see you again tomorrow on Rock and Roll True Stories. Take care.